right, everybody, welcome into the Pillow Talk edition of Pugs and Parker. Hi, I'm Pugs. He's Parker. He's not here. He's never on time. He's just not a dependable guy. I guess that's what the whole deal is. He's probably out at some bar. It is St. Patrick's Day. Although, wait, did he send me a text? Did he say anything? Nope. Nope. He's just okay. He'll be along. What's up, Byron? How are you? This is the second of two streams that I do each and every day. The first one, we call it High Noon. That's topics. That's just stuff. That's just anything that's happening. Headlines, trending topics, current events. That's what it is. It's a cheat sheet for your day. I give you all the things that you need to know so that you're not going to ever find yourself in a situation where you encounter somebody and they're like, hey, did you hear about? And then you can say, yeah, I did, because I listened to High Noon. That's Monday through Friday, noon till 2. Then we come back. We do the second stream. That's this one, Pillow Talk. That's me and Parker. Hi, John. Happy St. Pat's Day to you, John. Orange County. Oh, he's in Orange. John leads the life that I wish I could leave. I'll tell you, John's all over the place. He's in a different city every single night, and yet here he is showing up in the chat room being John. Totally appreciate that. Thank you, John. Let me see here. What do we got? I always feel like, we're supposed to start with the, there he is. All right, here he is, ladies and gentlemen, just a few minutes late. There he is. He's wearing the green. He's celebrating St. Patrick's Day. He is James Marsupial Parker.
You going to pull me up so they can see my shirt?
Yeah, you're up, aren't you? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, there you go. Look at that. What's he got? He's wearing his Ireland shirt. I'm not wearing anything green. Is there some green in this?
Yeah. In the Indian that you're disgracing his legacy, one of the feathers is green.
I'm not disgracing his legacy.
I know. I don't think that. Just having fun.
No, but it is funny that you say that, because the Chicago Blackhawks have never been accused of appropriating or anything like that. You know why?
Because they never have like the cartoon goofy face.
Well, this is their logo. This is
right.
he's kind of cartoony and goofy. No, it's because the Chicago there is no such thing as a Blackhawk. A Blackhawk is not it's not an Indian tribe or.
I did not know that.
A Blackhawk was a dude. There was a dude named Chief Blackhawk who was and he is like the patron saint of Illinois Indians, and he is revered and everybody loves him, and he is honored. He is who the Blackhawk helicopter is named after.
Okay. Now this sounds familiar. Okay.
Yeah, the military Blackhawk helicopter.
All right.
So this is not a wide, like Cleveland Indians or Redskins. This is not just a wide sweeping pejorative about all these people. The Blackhawks honor one dude. It's like if his name was Brad, they would be the Chicago Brad.
Oh no, the appropriate comparison would be the Cleveland Browns, right? Aren't they named after Jim Brown?
Yeah, Paul Brown.
Oh, I thought it was Jim Brown.
No, Paul Brown. No, that's good though. I bet you're not alone. I bet you there are plenty of people. The Brown family, two NFL teams. Paul Brown. Cleveland Browns are named after him. He didn't start the Brown, but he became an owner, and he became so important to the team that they named the team after him. Mm-hmm. And then he got old, and they said, "Get the hell out of here." And so Paul Brown went, "Fine, I'm going to take the colors, I'm going to take everything, and I'm going to move downstate to Cincinnati and form a new team called the Bengals." And to this day, the Brown family owns the Bengals. Even though the Browns football team is named for them, they own the Bengals. Isn't that an NFL fun fact?
Yeah, that's a fun one. It's also fun in the fact that you said there was another one. I thought you were going to say there was another team that was named after a singular dude. And so while you were telling the Paul Brown story, I was racking my brain for another example of a franchise that's been named after a dude. Now, I can think of like specific dudes, like the Texas Rangers are named after a group of dudes.
That's a group. Yeah.
But a singular dude.
How come the Texas Rangers don't complain? How dare they name a baseball? Do you know how many Texas Rangers have died heroically and they're running around millionaires in tight pants, making a laughing stock of, they could, but they don't.
But if there's a franchise out there like called the Geronimos or something, that could be a mascot that's just named after one dude. Cochise was just one dude.
Yeah, the Sitting Bulls. The Chicago Sitting Bulls. We dropped the city.
Is that what that's from?
No.
Okay.
No.
Because that wasn't too far away.
I think Sitting Bull was like South Dakota, right? Wasn't
Yeah.
he like out there in that area? No, the Bulls are named the Bulls because Chicago they had the stockyards.
Stockyards, right.
We got all the cows from Texas. They put them on the train, and then they rolled them on up to Chicago where they were slaughtered. So, Bulls. Get it? It's like
I do get it. Very clever. You're not known for your Bears, though, are you? Chicago Cubs?
Yeah. Well, the Cubs were first. See, the Cubs came around first. And then when George Halas started the football team, they played in Wrigley Field where the Cubs played. And he said, well, we're like Cubs, but we're much scarier. And
that's right. You've told that story.
But yeah, there are Bears along Lake Michigan and stuff. There used to be anyway. Not so.
Oh, okay. And then what else y'all got? White Sox?
White stockings. Yeah, they were the white stockings, and then stockings became something only for women. So they changed it to socks.
Not a glorious legacy, yeah.
We got the Fire. We got our soccer team is the Fire.
Are they still called the Fire? I thought they changed to like FC Chicago or something.
I think so, probably.
Because the Dallas Burn just changed to FC Dallas.
Yeah. Our WNBA team is the Sky for the Skyline.
I don't know.
Now we're stretching it, James. Now we're going. We used to have the Chicago Cardinals. The Chicago Cardinals used to be our second football team. And that's because the Illinois State Bird is the Cardinal.
All right. The Buccaneers aren't talking about anybody specific. The Raiders aren't talking about anybody specific. Patriots aren't talking about anybody specific. What other teams?
Giants, Jets.
Not one specific.
Bills, Buffalo Bills, Buffalo Bill Cody.
Is that what it's? That's what?
Yeah.
It's named after him.
Well,
is he from there? Why would they Buffalo Bill Cody?
I don't think he's from there, but that's the play that they're going for. Like they're the Buffalo Bills. Like Buffalo Bill Cody was like a big celebrity at some point. So
hang on, now we got to look this up. Buffalo Bill name origin is an effort to rename the originally tagged to the Bisons. The Bills was a reference to frontiersman Buffalo Bill Cody. Okay, so good. There is another one. So Buffalo Bill Cody. That's very cool. So the Browns and the Bills.
That's just the NFL. Rams, Seahawks, Cowboys. Was there one specific Cowboy? No,
definitely not.
The Dallas Cowboys. Multiple. Mm-hmm. It's not the Dallas Cowboy. All right, let's go to other sports. People are just loving this, I'm sure. Let's work through this. Let's go to other sports.
Well, hang on. Did we exhaust the NFL? Here, I'm looking at a list. Titans, Colts, Texans, Jags, Chiefs, Raiders, Chargers, Broncos, Cowboys, Eagles, whatever the Washington is. Giants, Packers, Vikings, Bears, Lions, Bucks,
Commanders,
Saints, Falcons. Yeah. Falcons, Panthers, Rams, Cardinals, 49ers, Seahawks. So no. All right. So you want to go to like NBA
NHL?
Teams?
Well, let's go NHL since that's where the Blackhawks were named after Chief Blackhawk.
Okay. So So now we're at 3. So Chief Blackhawk, the Cleveland Browns, and Buffalo Bills.
Actually, it's more convoluted than that with the Blackhawks. The Blackhawks are actually named after the Black Hawk division that the owner Bill Wirtz fought in during World War I. But the Black Hawk division is the Illinois division of that army, who is named after the great Illinois native hero Black. So it's like, they're not the red.
But the mascot's not wearing camo.
There you go.
He's not carrying a rifle.
All right, NHL teams. What are we?
All right, so Carolina Hurricanes, no. New York Rangers, Pittsburgh Penguins, Washington Capitals, Columbus Blue Jackets, New York Islanders, Phillies, Flyers, New Jersey Devils. Well, that was named after me. Florida Panthers, Tampa Bay Lightning, Toronto Maple Leafs. What a lame name. Boston Bruins, Detroit Red Wings, Buffalo Sabres, Ottawa Senators, Montreal Canadiens, Colorado Avalanche, St. Louis Blues, Minnesota Wild, Nashville Predators, Dallas Stars, Winnipeg Jets, Chicago, Arizona Coyotes, Calgary Flames, Los Angeles Kings, Edmonton Oilers, Vegas Golden Knights. Those things don't even exist. What's Vancouver?
Canucks.
That's right.
No, that's hockey. Vancouver Canucks.
Right. And then Anaheim Mighty Ducks, San Jose Sharks, and Seattle Kraken. No.
All right, let's look at the NBA now. Let me do the NBA for you. You got the Los Angeles Lakers, because of all those lakes in, you know why the Lakers are the Lakers?
Minnesota.
Minnesota. Yeah. That's right. Land of a thought, 10,000 lakes. Where are the teams? Okay. You got the Boston Celtics? No. New York Knicks? No. Brooklyn Nets? No. 76ers? No. Wizards? No. Hornets? No. Hawks? No. Actually, do you know that the Atlanta Hawks, started out as the Quad City Blackhawks, also named after Chief Blackhawk, because Quad Cities is right there on the Illinois-Iowa border. And when they moved to Atlanta, they shortened their name to the Hawks. But technically, the Atlanta Hawks are also named after Chief Blackhawk, the same as the, okay.
Pretty influential dude.
Magic, no. Well, Magic Johnson. They named after him. He never played for him. No.
They did not name it after him.
Heat, Pelicans, Grizzlies, Thunder, Mavericks, Rockets, Spurs, Suns, Nuggets, Jazz, Trailblazers, Kings, Warriors, Lakers, Clippers. Nope, none. No. So it's just the Browns, the Buffalo Bills, and the Chicago Blackhawks. The only of the major baseball. We didn't do baseball.
I'm going through baseball, and none of them are individual dudes. Here, they got the list here: Diamondbacks, Braves, Orioles, Red Sox, Cubs, White Sox, Reds, Guardians, Rockies, Tigers, Astros, Royals, Angels, Dodgers, Marlins, Brewers, Twins, Mets, Yankees, Athletics, Phillies, Pirates, Padres, Giants, Mariners, Cardinals, Rays, Rangers, Blue Jays, Nationals.
Of course, the Tampa Rays named after Ray Parker Jr., who wrote the famous Ghostbusters.
The Ghostbusters song, that makes sense, because he was from like Detroit or something, so that's close.
Mm-hmm. All right. Frank had a question for me. He wanted to know what my hat is. James, do you know what hat this is? This is a throwback classic baseball hat.
Is that an old Boston Red Sox hat?
It is not a Boston Red Sox hat, but the B does stand for Boston. What teams played in Boston that still have this color hat?
The Patriots.
No. This is an old Boston Braves hat before the Braves moved to Atlanta and became the Atlanta Braves. It's see, if there was an A on it, it would look like the Atlanta Braves hat, but there's a B for Boston Braves. So Frank Smith, this is a Boston Braves hat. It is one of my favorite everyday heavy lifting hats. Hey James, you want to do a monologue, shall we?
I would love to do a monologue, Pugs.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It is not 7 seconds today. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome into the Comfort Nest Lounge, nestled high atop the 1%er compound in beautiful Highland Park, Texas. I am your master of ceremonies, Pugs Moran. Please welcome to the stage a global sensation, a comedy icon, the man of mirth and a million punchlines. He's James Alley-Oopa Parker.
What's mirth again?
Mirth is happiness.
All right.
Bring happiness.
Well, this ain't going to bring happiness, but we'll try. Vice President Harris's husband, the second gentleman, Doug Emhoff, tested positive for coronavirus. He's suffering from headaches, but doctors say that's probably caused by Kamala. Oh, that was nice of you. Making an annoying wife joke. Oh, yeah, and Pugs was telling me about this yesterday. Jussie Smollett's been moved out of Cook County Jail. He's out the psych ward, but doctors still think he's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Even though he got out. All right. As you can tell by my black and white green shirt here, today's St. Patrick's Day, or as it's called in Pleasant Grove, Irish Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, wow.
Pleasant Grove doesn't have broadband to defend themselves. The holiday, though, is named after St. Patrick, the patron saint of Jell-O shots.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not Catholic, but a lot of cities have their own unique St. Patrick's Day traditions. For example, every year in Mesquite, they cook green meth. But it seems like everyone's in the St. Patrick's Day spirit. For example, Elizabeth Warren's filling her peace pipe with shamrocks.
Oh.
I'm kidding. It was weed. It was weed. Hey, happy birthday. We're at the birthday part here, Pugs. Porn star Stormy Daniels, everyone's favorite porn star. She's 43 years old today, Pugs. She's a registered Republican, but as someone who's seen her movies, you probably know that she can go either way. Happy birthday to John Sebastian. He's one of the founders of the Lovin' Spoonful. Love that band. I don't want to say he's getting old, but he's got a new band. They're called Lovin' Spoonful of Metamucil.
Oh, that was coming. Knew that one was coming.
So lame. All right, and finally,
how about Welcome Back Cataracts?
Hot Time.
He's famous for doing the Welcome Back Cotter song.
Yeah, and also Hot Time, Summer in the Assisted Living Facility.
Oh, hey, look at it.
Yeah, all right. And finally, happy birthday to the great Kurt Russell. I don't want to say he's getting old, but right now he's shooting a new movie called Escape from the Villages.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
What'd you do today for St. Patrick's Day?
Bro, I worked.
Yeah? You didn't do anything? You didn't go out? You didn't have a couple of drinks? You didn't get a little loosey-goosey? You didn't have some fun?
No. There was no fun to be had today.
No
fun allowed. I went to the dentist this morning. Then I came home and did some work, ran some errands, went to the store, hung out with the kiddos. They're on spring break. So we went on like a bike ride and went to the corner store. And
that is no way to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. That is, but all I did was I didn't run today. I didn't do my run today. Sorry, didn't get my run in. And I'm not going to do it now. I'm not. It's over. The day's over. When we're done with this, I'm going to bed. It was threatening to rain all day, so I used that as an excuse not to go out. I was just like, it could rain.
It's a valid excuse.
No, it's not. Not when you're shaped like I am. When you're shaped like my end, you should be running in the rain. But no, I didn't do that. All right. Hey, you got anything you want to start out with? Do you have a question? Do you have any kind of, thing? Anything?
I don't really have a thing, but I have like a sneaking suspicion that all these tags that I've ripped off mattresses and pillows is one day going to come back and bite me in the ass. No, I'm not. Okay, so look.
Why is that illegal? Is this what you're getting to? Why is that a thing? What is that about?
Well, I don't even have to know why it's illegal. I just saw a story because I look up Florida stories for the bit I do on the weekends for Walter.
Yeah.
And so if people send crap to me, and if I run across something, I stick it to the side here. But there's one of these stories. This guy was on his bicycle, and the cop stopped him, and he looks like he's just made of meth, right? They just came up with the reason to stop him. So they said, your bicycle doesn't have a rear red reflector, so we had to stop you and search you. And they found meth in the little box that was on the back of his bicycle. But the box is from a milk crate from a company that doesn't deliver milk anymore. But back in the day, this was the box that they would carry it around in. And I don't know if they did on the back of bicycles. I really doubt it. But on there is
spoil. You got to keep milk refrigerated. It's got to be delivered in a refrigerated truck.
What the hell do I know about milkman? I've never even seen one in my life.
Hi, my grandpa ran a dairy. I'm a family of milkmen.
Oh yeah, my grandpa knows what a milkman is too, but I've never even seen one with my own eyes.
I worked on a milk truck all my summers growing up. So yeah,
that is wild. How old are you?
He was hanging in there. Towards the end, he wasn't doing home deliveries, but
Pugs is so old. He had a wooden car.
I worked on a milk truck. I did.
Okay. So tell me this. On the milk crates, did they have a government warning that says it's illegal to use this for anything other than delivering milk?
No, because being a dairy family, we used those milk crates for everything. Everything. Furniture, coffee tables. We had milk crates for everything. Albums. Where do you think my mom kept all her albums all her life?
Yeah. So it said, warning, use by other than registered owner is punishable by law. And so even though it was from a company called National Dairy, now I think that company still exists, they just don't do the milk delivery. Mm-hmm. He was using it for something other than by the registered owner and is punishable by law. Well, they went just to be dicks, I guess, because they already had him for like meth possession and the reflector thing, if that's a big deal. But they went and looked up whatever law is attached to that, and they charged him with it. It's like an 8th degree misdemeanor or something. That's so lame, isn't it?
Dick move.
It is.
dick move.
Look at this guy. His life is already tough. You know, he's ugly and
I
skinny,
don't
and
think he's ugly. I think he's handsome. I think that's a handsome man.
he
I
look
don't.
he looks like he's made of meth, though.
Well, he
Right?
does. He looks like but I mean, he looks like if things had broken a little differently for him, he could have a nice wife and a job. He's not a hideous looking guy. I should be so lucky as to look like him. He's a handsome guy. He's got good hair. Look at him with his cool haircut.
He's got freakish hair that is not appealing to anyone who except those who hate their father. He has no eyebrows, which makes him look more like a skull than a face.
Right.
They're kind of sunk in. The meth is taking its toll, you know, and he looks like he's 48, but how old is he? He's like 27 or something in this picture. It's almost as
Hold
bad
that
as your
up
old
again.
White Sox.
Hold that up again. I see we got Leslie. Leslie, you're a lady. Is that an ugly man? I don't think that's an ugly man. Leslie, you tell us. That
Look
guy.
how well that frames.
Is that an ugly? Yeah, look, you're doing a really good job. Okay, now just wait a couple of seconds. Maybe Leslie's not paying attention.
Okay, so
Or
here,
any other women in the chat room. I didn't see anybody, but I don't think that's an ugly guy. I think you are overstating your case. I think that's a fine looking
well,
guy.
context clues mean a lot in this one because it's a guy that looks like this that's riding a bicycle with meth in the box on the back.
The bicycle. A grown man on a bicycle is
a guy like this in a brand new black on black Maybach looks a lot better.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
Like if
every neighborhood's got the guy on a bicycle. Every neighborhood's got that one dude who's like in his 30s and he rides. You know what I prefer? I prefer the guy that's in his 30s that pedals around on like a BMX bike wearing blue jeans. That's the guy that you always know has a story. Like you're not even wearing shorts, he's just wearing blue jeans and he's riding like a 13-year-old's BMX bike that he stole from the 7-Eleven.
That he stole.
Not even his. All those guys got a story, man. Oh, Leslie says not so much. I don't know. I don't think he's that terrible. But then again, I have to look at myself every day. April says he's creepy. All right, fine. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not a gay man. I just, I'm not a woman. I'm not attracted to men. So maybe I'm off.
He probably has a girlfriend and you're single.
Hey, you were just talking about milk delivery. I was talking about this today. You watched The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Yes. Thanks for reminding me because we just finished the new season of Last Kingdom and we're probably going to jump right back in. Hey, as soon as the show's over, Miss Maisel.
Oh, it's good. The new season's good. She's Midge is she's getting a bit. She's getting successful and she's starting to be confident.
Sniff her own farts. I like that. But look, the character that we're going to remember for this for years is not Midge. It's Susie.
Oh, well, yeah, Susie's great too, but the sleeper is Jane Lynch as Sophie.
I love that character. She's like, I can't believe you ate the macaroon.
she's got a big role in the new season.
Oh, good. She's so perfect for this show. She's so perfect for that role.
So funny. Yeah, she has a nervous breakdown.
Like she doesn't even act like Jane Lynch in this show because Jane Lynch has a tendency to just be the same sort of bitch in every movie.
Jane Lynch is brilliant. She is a fantastic actress.
Mm-hmm.
Well, her plot line in this season is that Susie, now that Midge is getting more successful, Susie's taking on new clients, and Susie ends up managing Sophie Lennon, the character played.
Right, she was doing that in the last season.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, that was last season. But Sophie Lennon has a nervous breakdown, and so she has to rebuild her career. It's very funny. She's very funny. She has a very big... But there is a scene early on, I think it's probably episode 2 of the new season, where Midge has a little money. She doesn't know that Susie has squandered all her money gambling, but so Midge tries to buy back her apartment in that fancy New York City building, and she does. She buys back the apartment. She takes a loan from Joel's dad. Joel, her ex-husband. She takes a loan from Joel's dad. She buys back the apartment, and then she's trying to figure out. Because you saw the end of the season where Shai Baldwin kicks her off the tour, right?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
So she doesn't have the income anymore. So she's trying to make her grocery bills. She's trying to figure out how she's going to pay her bills with now also having the old expensive New York City apartment, 12-room apartment, whatever it is, a beautiful apartment. And there's a scene where Midge goes around to because they didn't have supermarkets. There was no supermarket on the Upper West Side of New York.
Dude,
If
there's still not. I stayed at a cousin's house for like a week up there, and to get food, you just went to little bitty stores.
Okay, like a bodega, right? Like a corner store or something.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they didn't even have them in 1962. So for meat, she would go to the butcher shop. For bread, she would go to the bakery. For milk, it was delivered by a milkman, and she had to negotiate with all these people to raise her tab so that she never had to pay for anything. And she's, basically, I'm going to be buying for you forever. Just raise my tab. And I was watching this thing. The milk cut her off because she had exhausted her tab, and her kid was complaining because he couldn't eat his cereal in the morning. And I just thought, if you got cut off by your milkman in 1962, you couldn't just go to a store and buy milk. There were no stores that had milk. The milkman was the sole provider of milk. And if you lost that dude, if like he would no longer do business with you, you didn't get milk. And I'm like watching this and I'm like, oh my God, she can't just go to a 7-Eleven and get a gallon of milk. There are no supermarkets. There's not a corner store. Like bodegas at that point, today you go to a bodega and they're great because they're like 7-Elevens, but also they have delis and they have all kinds of things.
Well, and they have little refrigerated
Right.
shelves.
But back then, all they sold was fruits and vegetables. That's all they sold. It was just where you went for your fruits and your vegetables. It was a vegetable stand. So you're right. I'm watching that last night and I'm thinking, James is right. I don't know that I could live if I suddenly built a time machine and had to go back and I could only have milk if I was in good standing with the milkman because that would suck.
Yeah, my cutoff is still 2017. I can't go back before that.
2017, I don't know, man. I think maybe 7-Elevens. I think that's my cutoff. 1975. I think I need to have 7-Elevens in my life.
My cutoff might be Uber. I don't want to go through the cab thing again. The cab thing was such a
cabs are
horrible
great.
experience.
I still use cabs. When I'm in downtown Chicago, I still only use cabs. I try.
No, because whenever I'd go to New York or some convention, and it's my only experience with Ukrainians, and apparently they smell like onions.
Yeah, cabs are awful.
Yeah, and it's Eastern Europeans and like a Somali dude, or he's from Eritrea or Djibouti or someplace.
Where else you can get to ride around in a big city in a silly old car like that? Because cabs are like different. They're not. Well, I guess a lot of the cabs now are like minivans or whatever.
I don't know. Once Uber came out, I hadn't been in a cab since.
No, I do not. I use only Uber in the suburbs. Like if I'm out, like drinking or going out with friends or something like that.
When I go to the airport, I go order an Uber and wait at the Uber lot.
Dallas never had a big cab presence though either. Dallas was never a cab city. So like when I was here, it was always like, well, can't we just catch a cab? And like, there are no cabs. You have to call a car, or you had to call a cab. That was the crazy thing that I getting used to being in Dallas. Like if you were
call a cab, yeah, you got to call the company.
Like, you want to call the cab, and I'm like, can't I just step outside and there'll be 15 of them? It's like that was really convenient. That was, I don't know. I still like cabs. I will still use a cab if I'm in a big city that has a cab presence.
Well, I remember the first time I went to New York, cabs were everywhere. Last time I went to New York, just a couple years ago, almost no cabs.
Well, as recently as a year ago, there were still cabs in Chicago, although not nearly as many. I mean, the rideshare thing is everywhere. There's Ubers and stuff. Hey, I found this. The question about mattresses. Why do they have those tags on it that say if you remove the mattress tag, you're going to be arrested and you'll go to jail and could be put to death for treason or whatever? The U.S. Code of Textile Fibers and Product Identification makes it illegal to tear off the label when a mattress is sold or shipped to the end user, in order to ensure that manufacturers and retailers do not attempt to cut off the label and sell the mattress as a new mattress containing old used materials. It must be clearly stated on the label that it cannot be removed under criminal law. Now, here's what it goes on to say, because I was reading it while you were doing your other thing. It's fine for us. Once we buy the mattress and it's in our possession and it's in our house, we can do whatever we want with it. We can cut that label is only there for the people who sold it to us. Because the people who sold it to us is typically the middleman. There is a mattress manufacturer who says that this mattress is new, no creepos have slept on it, and it's filled with this specific kind of mattress stuff. And then the middleman has to adhere to whatever that mattress label.
So that tag's not for us.
It's not for us. That tag is actually for the person we bought the mattress from, who bought it in turn from a manufacturer.
Yeah, I recall having a conversation with my sister when we were kids because I hated those things and I was always cutting them off. And I must have been like 7 or something. I cut one off and my sister's like, James, you can't do that. It says you can't cut it off. I said, Heather, who is going to check?
Yeah. How is this enforceable?
Is there like a meter maid version, but for pillows?
Well, you did grow up in Texas, and from what we understand, there was a lot of peering into the bedroom, seeing what people were doing back then.
Yeah, right.
They were very interested in bedroom activities back then.
Where I'm from, there's no such thing as cops. You call a cop, one will show up in about 45 minutes.
So it's like a cab. It's like a cop is like a cab.
Cab's faster.
Same thing. All right. Let's see. Do we have anything we can get into tonight? There's this thing I want to talk about. It's a story that we've got to kind of break into. We got to break it down because I was just fascinated by this. I was reading this earlier today, and it just got weirder and weirder, this story. You got a couple minutes? Can we go through this story?
Let's go.
Because these people, James, are out there. They are out there. They walk among us. They're our neighbors. They wait in line in front of us at Taco Bell or wherever the hell we are. So this is a story about a guy by the name of Cody East. Now, Cody East caught my attention because I know who Cody East is. Cody East is a tomato can UFC heavyweight fighter. Okay.
Dude, what does tomato can mean?
It means he sucks. It means you pound on him and he breaks open and he bleeds and he's just like a
tomato can like that. Okay,
yeah,
I get it.
Tomato can.
I like that.
He's a big dumb bruiser who doesn't have much skill, who just gets beat up by other people. So Cody East was always one of my favorite tomato cans. He's just a total garbage fighter, but he stands in there and makes for a good fight. That dude's getting his ass kicked and he ain't going down. So that's who Cody East was. The story caught my attention. Cody East charged with battery, child abuse, and false imprisonment, right? Now, I know Corey East's story because he came up into the UFC through a Dana White reality series called Who's Looking for a Fight, where Dana White just travels around the country looking for these local badasses who think that they have what it takes to make it in the UFC. And Cody East was one of the guys who won. He won Looking for a Fight on Dana White. It was a YouTube series. It was fairly interesting. So I knew who this guy was, and I knew that his backstory was that he was just trouble. Like when the UFC signed him, all the UFC reporters were like, did you look at this guy's background? And they're like, we are comfortable with his background. His background was shit. But I didn't realize how shit his background was. So let's go through this, okay? This is, let me tell you the story of Cody East. Former UFC heavyweight Cody East has been arrested again. This latest arrest took place over the weekend and resulted in charges of battery, child abuse, and false imprisonment. KRQE in Albuquerque, New Mexico, quoted a criminal complaint that stated that those charges were filed after East got into a fight with his wife and is accused of refusing to let her and the kids out of the car. So this is a fight that he started in the car. This happened in the car. East was signed by the UFC, and here you go. Okay, so East was signed by the UFC in early 2016 after he impressed Dana White during a taping of White's Looking for a Fight series. East was signed despite him already having a lengthy criminal record. All right, so let's go into his lengthy criminal record. Should we see what this guy...
Because no, I thought like UFC... Those guys usually don't have criminal records. Isn't that one of the better behaved athletic endeavors?
Well, typically because of the personal discipline that is needed to, rise up the ranks.
To not get your head ripped off. Yeah.
And martial artists tend to be very centered and calm and understanding, disciplined, very disciplined guys. But then you've got the thugs. And this is what I mean by these guys are around us. These guys have checked our IDs at bars. These guys have, flipped us off in traffic. These scary beast animal men are just out there running around. And we're just totally oblivious to it because thankfully most of our paths don't cross. But when they do, when we cross paths with someone like a Cody East out there in the wild, something bad is going to happen to you and me, because he's got no self control. He's not worried about going to jail. It's just like the scariest breed of human being that there is. All right. So, first of all, Cody is 6'4" and 270 pounds. Okay. So he's a big one. He's a
Warren Sapp big.
He is also a two-time New Mexico high school state wrestling champion. So,
that's cool. There's some
funneled
skills there.
Yeah. He didn't win a third because he spent his entire senior year in juvenile detention. So, he may have been a 3-time, but that didn't work out for him.
Right.
Because he raped a girl. Because he raped a young girl. Yeah, he's got a real shady history. New Mexico-based heavyweight Cody East recently signed with the UFC after winning a Legacy FC bout in front of Dana White. But there has been plenty of controversy surrounding East's numerous violent criminal charges over the past 11 years. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about this guy.
Okay.
The UFC recently added another heavyweight to its roster, Legacy's FC's Cody East. He's reportedly scheduled to fight Walt Harris on the preliminary card, blah, blah, blah. This is going back a few years. The Freight Train has been in the pros since May of 28, compiling a 12-1 record with 11 of his victories by either knockout or submission. East signing comes with a lengthy and controversial criminal history, which dates back to his days as a state champion wrestler for Los Lunas High School in New Mexico. Water. The most serious charge he faced and was ultimately acquitted of was rape. But he's also served time in prison for multiple other offenses. Here's a news timeline of Cody's violent past. Okay? This kid. This is like when he was 16 years old. And he was already like 6.
Dude, when you have enough of a past that they have to lay it out on a timeline format.
Oh yeah.
That's bad.
Los Lunas police detective Captain Charles Nueves said 17-year-old Cody East was taken into custody while at school Friday morning. East is being charged with 10 counts of criminal sexual contact of a minor, 4 counts of criminal sexual penetration of a minor, and 1 count of false imprisonment. East was being held at the Juvenile Detention Center in Albuquerque and was scheduled to make his first appearance in children's court in Los Lunas on Monday. Now, these charges were dropped because nobody stepped up to testify against him. This dude's reputation in his little hometown, New Mexico, was so scary. And James, he's got a brother who's just as psycho as he is, the East brothers. We'll get to him in a minute.
Okay.
We'll get to the brother in a minute. East pled innocent to the charges and was reinstated back into his school's wrestling program after serving a little over a month for 10 counts of rape, false imprisonment, and sex with a minor. He was 17. She was 13. 13 years old.
17, 13.
Yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem. I know where your head is going, but that's a problem. 17 is a senior in high school and 13 is in 8th grade. So,
Kinda. Yeah.
Not even in high school, man.
Yeah, but it's not criminal. Like, he's still 17. Like, he doesn't have, I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't understand that because you're right. He was 17 and she was certainly a minor, but wasn't he also a minor? Maybe the law is different there. I don't know.
Well, that was there force or coercion involved? That would make it bad.
Yeah, it's false imprisonment. Yeah, he
then it's definitely bad. It wasn't like his girlfriend or something?
No, here's the story. They were partying at a friend's house and East got really drunk and he saw her sitting on the couch and he walked up to her and grabbed her by her hair and dragged her into a bedroom, moved a dresser in front of the door and then raped her. That's what he did.
Well, that he needs to be pushed. No, he needs to be pushed into a wood chipper. Then.
Yeah. In 2007, having graduated from high school, East was indicted on 15 counts. This is 8 months later. He was indicted on 15 counts, including 4 counts of first-degree rape, 4 counts of second-degree criminal sexual contact of a minor, another kid. This one was 14. He was now 18. of a minor and 6 counts of third-degree criminal sexual contact and 1 count of false imprisonment. So he does the same thing. He gets wasted drunk at a party, sees a girl, and then just cavemans her.
Okay, so some father hasn't shot him in the head. That's amazing.
Hold that thought.
Okay.
Hold that thought, because
look at me.
we're
Okay.
going to learn more. You know the world, James. Look at you. You know how the world works.
I would have shot him if someone does that to my daughter. You're getting shot, okay? If you're thinking about doing that to my daughter, you're dying. I'll go to jail.
Prosecutor Aaron Jordan told jurors that East had a history of raping girls and using the same motive. He would use a dresser to barricade the door to the bedroom that he would drag the girls into. He did it twice, the exact same thing. So the first time he did it, he missed a great large chunk of his senior year because he was in juvenile detention. Then he came to court, and then nobody would testify against him because he's that guy in the neighborhood, the fucking psycho white trash New Mexico crazy.
Tomato can.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's only when he gets to the pro level. It's like, but in the hometown, he wants your bike. He's taking your bike.
He's Debo.
Who's Debo?
From Friday.
Yes, he's Debo. I was saying the Gooch from Different Strokes. If you remember Different Strokes, Arnold was always afraid of the Gooch because the Gooch was coming around for him. She didn't consent to any of this. She told the defendant no over and over again, blah, blah, blah. She begged to get out of the room. But the 4'11" girl was no match for the 6'4" athlete who at this time weighed in excess of 240 pounds.
This guy needs to die. Die.
Let's see here.
Die. Kill this guy. Kill this guy.
He claimed the sex was consensual, even though multiple witnesses at the party saw him grab her by her hair and drag her through the room into the bedroom. Nobody helped because it's the Gooch. When the Gooch wants, you don't get in the Gooch's way. Apparently, you don't go to a party with the Gooch because he doesn't handle his alcohol well, James. Apparently, he gets a little bit rowdy. East, as noted earlier, was acquitted of these rape charges again, although he would find himself in trouble again just a few months later. So he's 18 years old. He's been charged with rape on 2 separate occasions. Both times he was acquitted because people wouldn't press charges or testify against him. A few months later, after a massive fight broke out at a party hosted at his home, that's just bad form. He throws a party and then he starts a big fight at his own party. He
might have been the innocent guy and someone else was the belligerent.
Okay.
Hard to believe.
Yeah, that's kind of not how it went down.
No.
Witnesses told deputies at this party, this is the third instance now. He's 18 years old still. Witnesses told deputies that East became angry at some girls that showed up to his party who would not have sex with him. Oh, this is where it always gets bad for him. This is where he doesn't have.
What do you mean, no? Oh, my God. This guy's awful.
He went into a rage and began breaking doors and windows in his own home. He then allegedly hip-tossed 2 of the 14-year-old girls through a plate glass window and broke 2 others' noses. Just wailing on girls.
And this guy gets to fight in the UFC now?
Yes, he's just wailing on 14-year-old girls. We understand that he kicked his father. Oh, and then his father was there. His father, mom and dad, they were the cool mom and dad who allowed the party to happen in the house because apparently you don't tell Cody no. When his dad tried to stop him from beating up the 14 and 15-year-old girls, he beat the hell out of his dad. He put his dad in the hospital, kicking his dad over and over in the head while his dad was down begging for mercy. He curb stomped his dad.
Dang. Okay.
Dana White is such a piece of shit. He is such a piece of garbage. This guy's like, yeah, that's fine. I know all about this. That's fine. I can probably make some money off this psycho, this human. East was, then the police showed up. East was holding a knife when deputies arrived on the scene, but eventually surrendered without doing any further injury, later telling deputies that he wanted them to kill him. All right, so he was flipping out. Officers had to draw their weapons in order to subdue East, who does cage fighting, and Valencia County Sheriff's Detective. Remember this now. This story is from years ago, before he became a UFC fighter. Valencia County Sheriff's Detective Aaron Jones told KOB TV that East told deputies he wanted them to shoot him. East was wheeled away from the home, handcuffed and masked to a gurney like Hannibal Lecter. They had to take him out in a straitjacket, handcuffed.
He should be in a straitjacket right now, probably.
18 years old, 18 years, 6'4", state champion wrestler, has been training to kick ass his whole life, and he has absolutely zero self-control. He rapes women. He beats the snot out of 14-year-old girls for not having sex with him. Then he curb stomps his dad, pulls a knife on the cop. How did the cops... It sounds like he should be dead, right? A cop should have shot him. Seems to me like,
He's experienced a taser or two in his life.
This particular story also implicates Cody's parents, who were charged with buying and serving alcohol to minors, as well as child abuse and contributing to the delinquency of minors. Both of his parents received probational sentences, his mother pleading no contest to the alcohol charges and having the child abuse charges dismissed. Cody was jailed for the remainder of the year, and his attorney requested for him to be released with electronic monitoring was denied. With East free on bail and awaiting trial, he was unanimously approved for a license by the New Mexico Athletic Commission to compete in amateur MMA in April of 2008. He would make his pro debut just 1 month later. According to court records, a mistrial was declared. He never was convicted of any of these things.
Even kicking his dad in the head?
No. According to court records, a mistrial was declared in July of 2008 as the jury deadlocked on aggravated battery with bodily harm, as well as not guilty on charges of aggravated battery against a household member. So he was found not guilty of beating up his dad, even though his dad went to the hospital. Okay. And one count back. East was, however, found guilty of 3 counts of third-degree child abuse for beating up 14-year-old girls. All right, so he was found guilty. He's an adult. He's 18 now, and he broke a bunch of noses and threw 2 girls through a plate glass window. So he was found guilty of that. As if that wasn't enough, East was convicted of misdemeanor battery for breaking the ankle of a 17-year-old boy at a different party. So the same night. So he had gone to another. Apparently, there was a competing party. He didn't understand why all the cool kids wouldn't go to his party.
So he went and practiced some wrestling moves.
I guess, yeah. And he broke a kid's. And that's how the police showed up. The police didn't show up because he was throwing 14-year-old girls through a plate glass window. The police showed up because of what he'd done at another party down the block. This neighborhood sounds like it likes to party. This neighborhood sounds like, must have been like graduation week. Maybe these were like graduation parties. That's the only time when there's competing parties. Whose party are you going to? Are you going to this one or that one? At the end of 2008, East was handed his sentence by District Judge John Pope, at which time he admitted to having a serious alcohol problem.
Is he still 18?
Yes.
Yeah. How do you have a serious alcohol problem at 18? I know it can happen. It just sounds so crazy.
Yeah. It's good. It's first step to curing yourself is admitting you have a problem. Sounds like Cody's on his way to turning himself into a upstanding citizen. After apologizing to the court and to the people he'd hurt and admitting that he's had an alcohol problem for years, Cody East was sentenced this week to 3 years in prison on charges of child abuse and battery. East, remember, this story is now from a bunch of years ago. Cody East was sentenced this week to 3 years in prison on charges of child abuse and battery. East, a former state champion high school wrestler, was found guilty this summer of 3 counts of third-degree felony child abuse counts and 1 count of misdemeanor battery. Now, time out. Just remember, this whole story kicked off because just this week, he was arrested again for beating up his wife and kids in their car. So this is all just his backstory. This is East, or now let's fast forward to his 20. A 20-year-old East was found guilty of another count of misdemeanor.
How far are we on the timeline? Are we at the halfway point yet?
Yeah,
because he's only 20.
Yes.
Okay,
he hasn't gotten to the UFC yet. He hasn't even.
I know, but this is all from like 14 years ago.
No, this one is from 2009, when he was 20. He was found guilty on account of misdemeanor battery in a separate case in which he allegedly beat up a former friend at another drinking party. Okay, so he went to another party and beat up his friend, and they called the police. East was placed on probation and parole supervision in January of 2010, but it didn't take long for him to wind up back in jail. He was arrested one more time in August of 2010 for violating his probation and parole violations, which included assaulting a household member. He beat up his dad again. And
Okay.
criminal damage to property of a household member. He busted up his house. New Mexico court records indicate that East pled not guilty to both charges. Why not? Why not? It doesn't seem like
he hasn't been convicted of anything thus far.
Well,
So-
he did 3 years. Remember, but he got out early, so he got out after 9 months. He did 3
Oh, okay. Yeah.
for
Okay.
beating up the 14-year-olds and throwing them through the plate glass window, but he didn't get found guilty of beating up his dad or any of those things. Now we're up to 2012. In 2012, Cody returned to jail for 3 days after violating his probation when probation parole officers conducting a home visit at East's address discovered that East was not residing where he claimed to be. All right. Unfortunately, Cody's brother Tyler. Okay, Cody's got another brother Tyler, a little
Man,
brother.
are these just stereotypical white trash names?
New Mexico white trash?
Yeah, is there an Austin in there or a Rusty?
Cody's brother Tyler, also a state wrestling champion and an MMA fighter, does not fare much better when it comes to obeying the law. Tyler East was arrested in 2012 on domestic violence charges for allegedly striking his ex-girlfriend in the jaw and knocking her unconscious and then beating up his father. Dad is getting beat up by this. Dad has got to be out. I am out of this family. Although I imagine dad's an asshole too. Right? You don't, these kids, right?
Right. Well, also don't stop raising state championship wrestlers, idiot. Right?
Really?
Or, work on your D, get them hands up, Dad. Jesus.
Tyler East was arrested in 2012, domestic violence, striking his ex-girlfriend, breaking her jaw, and beating up his father. The woman also claimed this stemmed from Tyler East's cocaine use. Okay, so Tyler East loves cocaine, whereas Cody
loves booze.
Just an alcoholic, yeah.
Okay.
He was already on probation, Tyler was, for another 2010 aggravated battery conviction. Let's see, now up to April of 2012. His legal troubles, these are Tyler's. His troubles began in 2009 when he was accused of beating a fellow Bellin High School student in gym class. He pled no contest to third-degree count of aggravated battery with a deadly weapon and was sentenced. I don't know, what was the deadly weapon? I don't know. And was sentenced in 2010 to 3 years in prison. Last August 2011, Tyler East tested positive for cocaine, a probation violation, after winning a fight in his MMA debut. According to a probation and parole division report, East also violated his probation by using a fake ID. In addition, he was accused of harassment by a former girlfriend and another ex-girlfriend. Another ex-girlfriend was granted a protective order against him. So he beats up his girlfriends. Tyler does. 4 years ago, the UFC actually denied a heavyweight his octagon debut because of an incident that initially carried rape charges, but ended with plea deals to reduce charges. Strike Force heavy, and it goes on, blah, blah, blah. Okay, we don't need this. Okay, so where is the other thing that we need to... Where's the story? Because where's the end story of the brother, Tyler? So, okay, I'll just tell you. So, last year, Tyler East, the brother of Cody East, the one who loves his cocaine, Tyler East was beating the snot out of his girlfriend. And he beat her really badly to the point she was unconscious. And then he had a gun and he shot the girl's roommate with the gun. He pulled the gun and shot the girl's roommate. He then dragged the lifeless body of his unconscious girlfriend out onto the front porch of the house where the roommate that he had shot blew his fucking head off. Tyler East is dead. Somebody blew Tyler East away. At least one of the East boys are no longer a problem. No longer a problem. So Tyler is gone. Tyler is dead. He pulled a gun. He tried to kill a guy. That guy got shot in the leg. And then he went to his closet and got his gun and blew Tyler East away as he stood over the lifeless body of his girlfriend, who he had just beaten within an inch of her life. And that brings us to modern times, where Cody is in jail again. This time, someone married him. Somebody married him,
You're single.
and he had kids. Somebody reproduced with him,
Dang, man, what the heck?
and he went a little bit nuts, and he beat up his wife and apparently his kids. So that's just a lesson to you. The next time you're, somebody's acting like an asshole, a stranger, don't say anything to them, because these people walk among us. These people are out there, and they don't seem to care. See, that's why I could never be like a gang guy or anything, because I always think of what happens next. Like what happens.
Yeah, and I think I've come across these guys in real life before, and like your sort of animal spidey sense sniffs them out. And I think I've talked myself out of some really psycho situations with guys like this because, alcohol is involved a lot of times, and they get right in your grill and they kind of get that shark eye thing where it almost looks like they're crying or they're high or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like I remember a specific time I was hanging out. I was working at a restaurant, working at a bar, and after work, the whole wait staff would hang out. So we're at just some dude's apartment, and there's a guy that's like 5'6", and he goes, "Oh, you're big and tall. You work out or something?" I was like, "What kind of weird question is that? Are you hitting on me?"
Uh-oh.
And so he was a little drunk. He goes, "No, man, I'm just a black belt in like Rex Kwon Do or whatever it was." And he's like, "I don't know. I used to have this thing where I'd find like the tallest guy at the party and whip his ass in front of everybody."
Oh, really? So that's what you do for fun?
Yeah, this is your hobby. He's like, "What do you think about that?" I was like, I think Austin's taller than me. I think that's what I think about that." And so like deflect it with humor, right? And the guy like laughed. He's like, "Ah, you're funny." I'm like, that guy was like, he had the look on his face like he's about to punch me in my mouth. Because I've been punched in the face a bunch. So I going in retrospect, like it didn't seem like that big of a deal at the time. But I heard later on that night he got in a fight with some tall guy. And I was like,
Of course he did. That wasn't you.
I saved myself with my smart mouth.
There's I got away with a lot. I used to get into a lot of fights with people, and I ran with guys that would not back down from fights, and I luckily I never ran across a Cody East. I ran across people who were pretty much just as pussy as me and just drunk with beer muscles, so it just turned out to be a couple. But there was one situation, and this is when I realized that, okay, this has got to stop. This is the last fight that I'd ever gotten into. And it happened when I was here on the air in Dallas. We had gone to Chicago. My girlfriend and Kelly and her boyfriend and Emil was with us. We went to Chicago and we were at the W Bar on the lakefront, and it was a very nice, fancy night out. And some like Chicago Guidos, that's the best way to describe them, guys acting like they're outfit guys, like tough guys, that whole thing. They started harassing Kelly and my girlfriend. And so I got into like a staring contest with one of the guys. I was a little bit drunk, and whatever. We were feeling ourselves. I was with Kelly's boyfriend at the time was massive. She was with this gigantic hockey guy. Do you remember Rob? Remember Big Rob? He was like 6'5", massive. And we were with a bunch of his hockey player friends, and they were all huge. They were all enforcers. Ed was there. Yeah, Ed was there. And I got into this staring contest with this guy, and then he just came at my blind side and cracked a bottle over my head, split my head wide open, and I went nuts. I chased him pinned him up against the wall, and then the bouncers like moved us all apart, and they let them run away. And afterwards, I'm like, that guy was the kind of guy who in a fancy bar had no qualms about just breaking a bottle over someone's head. I could have died because I'm not willing to go that far. I mean, I was just on instinct when I reacted, and, I was all bloody and I was chasing him and all that stuff. That was just pure instinct. I couldn't believe someone had the nerve to do that. But when you get calm and you think about it, you're like, that could have gone really badly. That guy could have had a gun. That guy could have had a knife. If that guy was like a Cody or a Tyler East type, I'd have been in real trouble. And I was probably 35 years old at the time. And I remember thinking, all right, I gotta get back in therapy. I gotta start talking about these things again. I gotta figure out why I reacted that way. Why in that moment, I was not afraid to throw down. I was not afraid what was going to happen. I didn't think about what was going to happen next. I just wanted to brawl with somebody. And it was dangerous because I could have really gotten killed. It turned out later, we found out that they were drug dealers. They were drug dealers who supplied drugs to the bar and all the bartenders, and the bartenders sold drugs, and that's why the bouncers let them go. This guy attacked someone staying at the hotel with a bottle, and he was ushered out of the place by the bouncers, told to go, told to run. And we're like, what are you doing? I'm actually a paying customer. And it turned out that, yeah, they were drug dealers who were known to the bouncers. You know, bouncers got a kickback on it. So, but yeah, no, it's no matter how stupid I ever got when I was drunk, and I got stupid. I worry about my kid too, because my kid is also fiery. My kid, well, I told you, he has problems containing himself on the football field. So we either got to train him up to be a Cody East, or we got to somehow tamp him down so that he can control his. What is Ed saying? Ed says, my favorite part about that story was in the hospital when you told the girl who was stitching you up that you knew the number one plastic surgeon in all of Dallas. He was going to do critique your work. Good job, though. I still have the scar on the side of my head, but it's not bad. It's definitely faded. But yeah, no, that was a scary night. That kind of ruined. The whole next day was ruined. I was just like painkillers. Although, but I'm not a Cody East because I don't have the skills to back it up. I've just got the drunken rage.
Well, the tough part about Cody East is it doesn't matter what you do. These guys are always going to exist in some proportion in the population. I just hope it's as small as possible. But also, you just can't do anything to these guys until after they beat the piss out of somebody.
You just got to steer clear of them. That's, as pussy as that sounds,
right.
Like you diffusing the situation with the animal that was like, oh, I'd like to beat up the tallest guy. You got to find a way out of that. There is no winning it, because those people exist, and those people jails are filled with those people, and cemeteries are filled with their victims. So, what do you want to be? Are you going to be someone who's going to jail? I'm never going to jail. I'm at least clear-headed enough to go, okay, we're going to stop just at the point where somebody's going to jail, right?
Right. I haven't gone to jail so far, and there's a reason for that.
Yeah, all right. James, you got anything else? That's the sordid tale of Cody and Tyler East.
No, it's 10 o'clock, so I told the wife we're going to watch Miss Maisel, and I got to live up to that.
All right, well, go ahead then. Go enjoy yourself some Ms. Maisel.
I shall. Thank you very much for having me. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Well, I'm not having you. This is your show. Oh, all right. Why not? We'll go out with a little different version, a second cut from John Hinckley. This is a favorite of Jeff Glenn's. Jeff Glenn says if it's not Cody East, it's Jody West. They're a dime a dozen. Yep. Every town's got one. Every town's got one of these guys. You just got to stay away from them. All right, folks, thank you so much for joining us here tonight on the Pillow Talk edition of the two streams that we do each and every night here on the Radio Misfits Podcast Network. Join me at noon for High Noon, where we go through topics. It's headlines, it's current events driven, it's everything you need to know about the day. And then we do this 9 p.m. Central Time. Pillow Talk with Pugs and Parker, Monday through Thursday. Also, if there is some breaking news or anything like that, I'll be jumping in. Going to be doing that. Anybody, Putin uses a nuke, I'll jump in. Jussie Smollett fakes another hate crime, I'll be jumping in. God forbid we have it. Oh, you know what? I was just thinking about this. Is this a bad thing to think about? I don't even want to say it. It's like, if I say it, am I like projecting? There has not. I'm not gonna say it. Never mind. I'm just not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. There's no reason to say it. Suffice it to say, there has not been any real tragic event that has just popped up during an off time hour where I've decided, oh, let's go and cover this live. Let's watch it unfold. Let's do a stream where we just watch the news together and watch the information come in and cover it. That hasn't happened. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. All right, guys, that's it. I love you all. Appreciate you hanging out with us. We'll see you tomorrow at noon for High Noon. I am Pugs Parker. Happy St. Patrick's. All the songs I sing for you. You give me love so tenderly. All I gotta do is hold you. 'Cause we have got that chemistry. I close my eyes and go to sleep knowing in the morning it's you I will see. Our hearts are true and darling we always show it. 'Cause we have got that chemistry. We have got that chemistry.